Hey all, what's up everybody? Tim here with SCE. I hope wherever you are doing awesome and crushing it. And thanks so much for watching. Today we're shooting from Kennywood Amusement Park, which is right outside of Pittsburgh, PA. And we're standing in the shadow of their brand new roller coaster called Steel Force, which is absolutely a really epic kind of ride. So if you ever get into the Pittsburgh area, I would say get a chance to get on Steel Force. Pretty awesome. So the title for today's shoot is The Fastest Way to Raise Your Self-Esteem. Now, I don't know, but if you're like me, self-esteem is one of those things that we just can't get enough of. You can never have a self-esteem that's too high. Now you can become arrogant, which obviously is the wrong way to go and a bad thing, and arrogance is an overcompensation for when we really feel bad about ourselves inside. But self-esteem is just knowing that you can do it and that you can handle whatever comes your way, and you feel good about who you are, in your energy, all the time. Now, not everyone's self-esteem maintains a high level always. We know that self-esteem can go up and down. So the question is, if our self-esteem is low, how do we turn it around and how do we get it back on top to where it needs to be? Because when our self-esteem is good, things just work out better. And one of the challenges I have for you and for me is to try to live in a place where our self-esteem is at its peak just about all the time. Once again, it doesn't mean that it isn't going to go down, but we just don't want it to stay there. We want to turn it around as soon as possible. So many times the reason why our self-esteem struggles and why it dips is because we encounter areas of uncertainty. We run into things where we don't believe that we are enough, and we don't believe that we can step into that challenge and that uncertainty gap and produce a win, and we don't feel that we are enough or that we have what it takes to do whatever it is we're looking to do. And oftentimes the reason why we get into that space is because we haven't learned to trust ourselves. We haven't learned to really depend on ourselves when things get hard. It's easy to depend upon ourselves when things are easy, but how about when things get tough? Because it's when things get tough where we find out what we're really made out of. And what I found is that typically people who struggle with self-esteem have a tough time trusting themselves. And the reason why they have a tough time trusting themselves is because they haven't learned to push through the hard times. They haven't learned to push through the difficulties, and they get into areas that are tough or uncertain and they quit. So one of the best ways that we can drive our self-esteem is to do those things that are hard, to do those things that are tough. So how do you do that? Well, it simply is a matter of pushing yourself. Push yourself to do those things that you are intimidated by. Push yourself to do those things that are tough. So for example, there's a roller coaster in the background right now. Some people are terrified of roller coasters. Maybe a goal for you, a goal that will allow you to step into the tough times, is to get on that coaster you've been avoiding. Or maybe it's to start rock climbing. Or maybe it's to sing on stage. Whatever the case may be, find out the place that's uncomfortable for you and step into that space. Because when you learn that you can navigate through that, and when you learn that you can produce a victory where you didn't think it was possible, that's where you start to believe in yourself, and that's where you start to build self-esteem. The other practice that you can do is just simply do the things that are hard that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's getting your finances back on track. Maybe it's doing that budget that you wanted to do. Whatever the case may be, get into a space where you're doing the things that are hard, when you're doing the things that are tough, when you're doing the things that are uncomfortable on a continual basis. Maybe it's something as simple as taking a cold shower, and taking a cold shower every day for a week, or fasting for 16 hours, or doing that extra 15 minutes on the treadmill. Whatever the case may be, get into the habit of doing the things that are hard. Get into the habit of doing the things that are uncomfortable, because what you find is when you get in the habit of doing that, you push yourself and you realize that it's not that big a deal. And as you begin to produce win after win after win in the places that are tough, you begin to believe in yourself and trust yourself, and that's the way self-esteem comes up. So the fastest way to bring your self-esteem up is to start doing those things that are hard, to start doing those things that are uncomfortable, and to start doing the things that you are avoiding. And if you do that and practice that on a continual basis, you're keeping on stepping outside of your comfort zone. You continue to challenge yourself and continue to put yourself in situations where you need to rely on you. You'll find that you can trust you more than you ever thought possible, and that opens up every possibility, and it just rips the limits off your life. So this is Tim with today's SCE. Hope you have an awesome day. Hope that you learn to raise your self-esteem, and you can raise it quickly by doing the things that are hard, doing the things that are uncomfortable, doing those things that are tough, because there's more to you than you ever realized. Have a great one. I'll talk to you soon.